Hi, everybody. Welcome to Designers Brew with Pratika. We have Disha Subramaniam in the house and no introduction needed, but still, Disha, we'll start with a brief intro about you and start there.
So I'm Zisha and I practice interior design in Delhi. I have a young practice. I switched from law to design, born and bred Delhi. And here we are welcoming Vatika to Delhi to give her a little bit of taste of what we do here. And yeah, very excited for this session. Looking forward to all the fun.
So, one of a kind, unique designer who not only designs fantastic homes, but also knows how to explain a design to the T to the client since you come with a law background.
Yes. Well, that's where I use my vocabulary.
Super, Disha. I'm going to be asking you some questions. Let's dive deep into it.
Let's start.
Okay, so what's one design project where a travel memory completely shaped the space?
So it wasn't one travel memory. I designed this powder room, which was a mixed inspiration from London, from Paris, from Italy, and I liked few things, and I was stuck with how to mix it all together. And on paper, it looked like a khichdi. So I decided not to think about it too much, and I just went straight to execution. And it ended up coming beautiful. It's like the jewelry box of the house.
Wow.
But yeah, it's a little bit of a melange of multiple travel memories.
I'd love to see that.
Of course, of course.
If you could design a home based entirely on one country's soul, just for your cultural essence, which country would you choose and why?
I should say India.
Yeah. No, it close to you.
I want to say Mexico. The culture, the vibes, the color, the patterns, the drama. It's so chaotic, but it's so comforting.
It's a passion pack.
Yeah. It's a passion pack. It all just comes together so beautifully.
Super. I like that. Yeah. How do you capture inspiration when you're on the go? Photos, sketches, notes, or is it all just stored in a, architectural brain of yours?
Photos, I mean, it is 2020.
Yeah.
So technology and old school architectural play there.
How does travel challenge your design assumptions? Can you recall a moment where a cultural constraint really built something extraordinary for you?
So travel challenges me in the sense that it humbles me. Every time I travel, I realize that I literally don't know much about architecture or world or life or design because there's so much more to see, there's so much more to learn, there's so much more to absorb every single terrain.
True.
But recently, I spent the summer in Colombia. And just how the culture of the place, the culture of the language, the culture of the people, the culture of the food, and the culture of the design all comes together so beautifully in architecture was something that I really, really admire.
And it's so strong in color and essence, that blaze, right? Yeah. It leaves a mark on you. And I don't know, in some way, it reminds you of the ancient India in the here, Lammu.
Yeah. But it's also, it's something which in theory seems very overwhelming and daunting because those kind of pops of colors are sort of associated with kitsch and not fancy, not expensive, but you have to see it to believe it.
But still to bring it in and build something is yes, by all means, yeah. This is my favorite question. You've worn many hats and I have this question personally. I was telling you for the tour. Architect, lawyer, traveler, which identity shows up first when you're in a new place? And how does that shape what you take away from it?
So I don't think that these identities are distinct. It's all a mixed package of what makes Disha. So depending on where I am and who I need to be for the person I'm with and for myself, I sort of let one shine a little bit more than the other. But I mean, when I'm designing, my lawyer brain is always off. When I'm reading some legal news, I'm always trying to have a right side of the screen creative aspect to it. So I like to analyze things from non-conventional perspectives. So yeah, it's a mix of everything. It's not any distinct identity.
Very articulately put in, very, it's a very honest and a very beautiful expression, I think.
Thanks,
and awesome. Yes. Do you find that Indian clients are open to globally inspired ideas and do you often need to disguise them into something familiar?
I don't know if I should answer this question in camera, but I think it's a mixed bunch. So there are certain things which may be a little bit too outside of their comfort zone, which do need to be disguised, whether it's a pattern or tile or material.
Yeah.
But I think things are changing. I think there's so much exposure, social media, boon and a bane. So while clients I see a lot on Instagram, I think their palette has become very global, but the practicality aspect of execution of that in India is still very limited. So we're getting there. People like us are working hard to bring the clients to that level.
Lovely. And I do get that a lot that, okay, I just saw this last night. Can we make this rather? Sometimes.
Yes. But
How do you handle it?
it depends. I'm always open if and open to the fact that a client could have come up with a better idea than me.
Yeah.
It's usually not the case, but if it is, I'm open. If it is not, then just have a logical, stepwise conversation about it. At the end of the conversation, the client is still very keen, and we try to find a way which balances their vision and mine. Otherwise, sometimes it's just the hard and should win. Yeah. Yeah. I always say, I even tell my team, like, yes, we are answerable to the client, but we have to put the project even above the client. Sure. That's sacrosanct.
What's one object or material you discovered while traveling that you wish was more accessible in India?
Oh, wow. I think local stuff. So while India has opened its doors to the international market, so there's nothing on Pinterest and Instagram that is not within arm's reach to us, but it's a local craftsmanship, whether it's the mirrors from Peru or the tiles from Morocco, or the textiles I saw in Turkey. I think it's a local craftsmanship, but I also don't miss it so much because I feel if all of that was to come to us, it could leave us essence.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to go there and source it specially for one special project.
Sure.
So while I wish there was more of it in India, but I'm also happy that there isn't.
That's actually a little bit of soul of Mesosia. That's why I started Mesosia, to bring a little bit of that here.
Yeah, I see a little bit. And I realized still a bit, yeah.
Leaving space for you to still go and discover.
Yes, I know. How else do we get a chance?
Do you believe travel makes you a better architect or just a braver one?
I think both. Better in the sense that it gives me the opportunity to see and learn so much. Braver because sometimes you've seen something which you didn't think is possible. So you want to come back home and you know that you've seen the end result so you can do it. And sometimes there are things which you think of and you come up with and you're not able to convince the client because you don't see them around in India. Yeah. But when you go abroad and see them, it's just a validation that, yeah, you're right. Now you can do it. Tired. So both.
Super. Thank you, Disha. This brings us to a rapid fire round. Let's do it. All right. Really quick, one more. Okay. Yeah. Most unexpected item in your handbag right now?
Measuring tape. So unexpected, but yeah.
Yeah, no, unexpected for me. All right. If GPS didn't exist, how confident are you in reading an old school world map, like paper map?
GPS did exist when we were in school and our parents would force us to navigate. So I think about 70-80%. And if I got lost, I would just ask my husband to secretly be and ask someone I own book it.
Okay, good answer. What's the one item you've tried to DIY on design project and went hilariously wrong?
Paper mache.
Yeah?
It ended up looking like a really stick baby threw up. So no, it didn't go well.
What travel snack are you irrationally loyal to even if people judge you for it?
Donut holes.
Oh, nice.
Very bad for you.
If you're stranded in a beautiful villa with no Wi-Fi, what's your survival move? Sketching, dancing, or building a blanket fort?
I'll probably rearrange the furniture every date. I'll probably drink shit tons of wine. And yeah, Bindas. So yes, and just sketch. I don't think I should sketch up to hype up, but yeah, does. So yeah.
Okay. If your suitcase had a secret compartment, what would be hidden inside? Wow. Oh, tell me what's there, Disha.
I think I'll have shopping receipts from my husband and tequila from customs.
Lovely. You can instantly master one skill you've never tried before. What is it?
Furniture making, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. I really want to build something with my own hands.
You were 10 on 10.
Oh, thank you. I hope I was fast enough for you.
You're very fast. This brings us to the wrap of the show. Thank you, Disha, for being here. I love our conversation. And thank you for being here. And thank you guys for watching and see you next time.